When it comes to pairing barbecue sauce with my steak, Stubb's is the finest choice there is. Get a taste of Stubb's legendary barbecue sauce. Get a taste of life. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well.
Nice, man.
Same shit, different toilet.
It really is, you know.
Yeah.
Our parents didn't lie to us back in the day when they said that shit. Like, hey, be ready to live a whole lot of the same shit over and over again. You know.
I never even had that conversation.
Yeah. Now, I partied real hard when I was a kid, and even in my 20s. So my dad used to tell me all the time, he's like, it's about the small moments of happiness and the rest just kind of suck. That was the advice that he had given me.
Yeah, same here. I partied a lot during my younger years. It's like kind of crazy to think soon I'll be 36. So
yeah, I just turned 34 and just in May. It's nuts too how the years go by. Like as soon as you hit like 24, none of the, it's just like how the fuck am I 34 already? I'm like, because I'm probably going to only live till 45. So I don't have a lot of time. I'm banking the end of the world comes in the next 10 years. And then I won't have to worry about, getting emphysema from cigarettes.
Jesus. So you don't worry about longevity or anything. You're just rocking the years that you have.
Yeah, I mean, have you experienced the last 5 years like this? We're going at hell in a handbasket. You know what I mean? There's like poor people that are eating their own shit. Like they don't have right. You know what I mean? Like we have it so much better, but I don't know. I see it continually declining, and not just like the economical situation, but just life, people's attitudes, the way people treat each other. You know what I mean? It's like this is gonna be such an upper of a podcast.
I got my stuff grinded. I got my bowl here. I actually got one pre-packed. I'm thinking this is gonna be another one of those episodes. It's gonna be
3J podcast.
On your first appearance, I was.
Dude, I think I smoked 4 joints that whole time. It was like an hour and a half.
No, it was 2 hours.
I immediately got off and just went to sleep. I was like, I'm not even gonna just I ate a bag of cheese doodles in my bed, went right the fuck to sleep.
Nice. Hell yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna get right into it. Let me flip the switch in my head. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Rated G. I'm your host, G TERADO. You are new here. Welcome to the show. This is a podcast where I sit down with friends, fellow local artists, creators, and other creative entrepreneurs, and we simply sit down, just have honest discussions and conversations revolving around our creative endeavors, as well as just other aspects in life, from interest, hobbies, just things that are on our minds. So if you enjoy this content, you resonate with it, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe if you are, whether you're listening on podcast or watching on YouTube. Like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Feel free to leave a comment. I love addressing any comments or questions any viewers may have. And be sure to check out each show description, especially if I am featuring a local artist. That way you can follow the links to their active platforms and just follow their journey. And and everyone else that's tuning back in, welcome back, and thank you for your continued support. And let's go. I have a special guest, a returning guest, and I'm gonna be sitting down, shoot the shit like we did last time, and really catch up because first time meeting was it was super chill. I mean, we were just talking about earlier how blasted we were, but It was just a fun sit down. I felt like I needed at the time, and probably now is another great time to have one of these sit downs. So please welcome back the down to earth, hardworking songwriting machine, the music artist from New Jersey, singer songwriter Mike Hadley.
Thank you. You forgot to add the Songbird of this next generation. That's I'm gonna claim that title.
I'm working on my compliments, so they're gonna be kind of oh fuck, I just spilled my bud, but they're gonna be a little plain, but I'm working on them. But yeah, bro, thanks for doing this again, by the way.
Nah, hell yeah, man. This makes me feel like I actually have a music career when we do shit like this, you know.
Would you say it's like a nice little, like, I don't know, confidence boost or ego?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's funny. So my dad has no idea about podcasts. He doesn't understand the concept of it or anything, or that there's more than one. So the last time that I told him, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing a podcast, and he was like, you're gonna be on Joe Rogan, and I was like, yeah, Dad, I'm on Joe. It's the only one he's ever heard of because of Facebook. So I was like, yeah, I'm on Joe Rogan, and then he's still wondering why, like, I'm asking him for money to borrow to buy a new car. Shit. That's funny.
The podcasting game is ridiculous.
Yeah, it just goes right over his head.
I was just listening about it on Joe Rogan, actually, and it just kind of just brought some questions in mind. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to think about these later.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I was wondering. Actually, I do want to address first that how close. Well, I don't know if we were close, but we almost did your comeback recording when you were drunk. Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
Nah, what was it?
You don't remember this?
Dude, I was probably drunk, so I don't think I remember.
Yeah, you were. And it was like,
I've smoked so many drugs off of tinfoil over the last 15 years. I mean, I stopped like 6 years ago, but there was a long period of time where like all I did was freebase stuff. So like, it's funny, the guys I work with, like, they call me an airhead all the time, and I'm like, it's not. I just don't fucking. I live in like the last 10 days, and then that's pretty. Like everything after that, it's like, you know. I can't remember shit, man. I'm getting old, and I don't think it's weed either. I think it's, you know, it was probably the tin.
Well, I think the damage you've done on
it was, yeah, it's been done. I've accepted the fact. I don't need to remember shit. It's probably for the best.
That is absolutely fair. So yes, we it was like when, I mean, I would have to kind of scroll up a bit, but there was like one day, and it was like, I think it was like during the day, and
it was like random. We just hit each other up, and we were gonna.
I think I responded to one of your stories, and then we just talked about, yeah, like, you know, when you come back on the show, blah blah blah, and then for like a hot second, you're just like, yo, it's like, I'm down to record right now.
Fucking do it right now.
And I was just like, I was on board for a second.
Heavy metal.
I was on board for a second, and then one of them.
Then you FaceTime like, me. I'm like throwing up in a toilet. You're like, this probably isn't the best idea. Like, maybe we'll, you know, we can.
I mean, it could have been. That could have happened.
I like fall off my piano bench.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it was definitely like. It was earlier in the day too, because I remember.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, listen. Sometimes I've it's been a weird couple months for me. Yeah. So there's just and a lot of shit, man. It's not even like, it's weird. I'm so used to my life being a mess because of me, and then like there was like 4 or 5 different, you know, just situations in my life that I have no control over, that I'm just a part of because of people I'm close with or my family or whatever, that,
yeah,
you know, and that shit takes a toll on me sometimes.
Oh no, absolutely. So you were, because I think you may have mentioned something happened, I think, and yeah, and then I think that's when we both agree, like, oh yeah, you know what, this is probably not a good time to
It's probably not the best day for this.
yeah.
I'm like bawling my eyes out, drinking a bottle of
I
vodka.
have
I'm like,
no
yeah, let's
idea.
fucking do this.
You know what, and you know what, that's why I always toot my horn about communication. It's hard to get context in text form. So you, I don't know like what actual state of mind you're in. Like you were humorous in your verbiage, but I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it could be like, ha, 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 but it could be like, oh, you know?
Yeah, I need to do a podcast right now. Like my life's falling apart.
Requiem for a Dream is playing in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, I'm just like tying off. Oh God, no, never again. I will not do that shit again.
That's right. Stay on the path.
I'll
Stay on the
listen,
path.
I'll get a little sloppy drunk. I'll get sloppy drunk sometimes when I'm depressed or going through some shit.
Yeah.
And more because I've kind of come to find that like when I don't jump into a hard situation and really feel it and get through it quick, and I let it linger, it eats me fucking alive. So there's a lot of times where like, if I'm just going, I had the other night, like a couple days ago, I'm going through some family stuff and it kind of bothered me. And I think it was Sunday and I sat here for a couple hours and just had a bunch of beers, a few joints, sat here and cried. And like the next day I'm cool. It doesn't like affect me as much as it did. So, which to therapists, that might not be the healthiest way to get through things, but it works. Still some island.
Does the music help in that?
Yeah, it definitely does. Times like that, days like that are usually the times that something comes out, throughout that process that, I end up playing and people like it and and stuff like that. So it's work. I'm over here working. Like I'm not getting drunk and crying.
Well, has writing helped in that way? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're always writing. I feel like you're always writing.
Yeah, I write so much.
That's great.
Well, and I don't know. I think songs and stuff is like a numbers game. So the more that you write, the more eventually one of them will pop out that is like that song that people click with.
Yeah. Yeah, I do believe in that. Like you kind of just gotta.
Yeah, you just gotta keep doing it.
Punch out all the work and then.
Yeah, we talked about this the last time. Like even if 2 people are listening, just keep going, keep doing it.
Yeah.
I've been playing a ton of shows the last couple months now. I think when we talked, it was right before I was going to play that show with Pimenta. And that was the first show that I played like my own music and stuff. And since then I probably played like 8 or 9 shows, and people connect with it. It's cool. It's, it's like a smaller crowd. I've been playing like tiny spaces, but there's always people that come up and that are like, yo, like that song hit me. Like, I don't know. It's been very reassuring, because I feel like I throw a lot of shit out on social media and it gets like 4 likes from like the people, like from like you, my friend Jamie, like my girl, like people that if they don't like it, I'll judge them. But it's nice to get out in public and have people that you don't know, tell you like, hey, you got something, keep going, kind of a thing. So.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a broken record when I go on my tangents about helping. I hate to say it, the algorithm, because that's really what it is. When people interact with your content, they'll guarantee see more of your content more often. And it's I'm just, even if you just like it, if you don't have
it's the way the monster runs, man.
One of those things will suddenly you'll see more of their content if you were to like or comment or any of that
Yeah.
stuff. And
There's been so many times where people have been like, "You're doing so great. You have an awesome voice." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Yo, like I love the videos," and I'm like, "Yeah, yo, hit a like button, like maybe a
yeah,
heart."
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
leave that comment. Like, like don't feel scared to like something because it's like a sad. So I don't know. I don't get it.
I
I try to. I also too and I think this is part of the algorithm is us as artists having our page and liking and being out there and commenting on other artists' stuff. Like, I feel like that kind of helps it too. I do that shit all the time,
yeah.
and not even just splashing likes. Like I just, honestly go through Instagram and I'm like, I like that person. This is a really cool post. Like, let me hit art. But,
Yeah. No, it's
but
true.
then, it's society, man. We're all just scrolling, aimlessly
Well,
scrolling through TikTok videos at this point
honestly, I think even
of
beyond
like dudes,
that,
like dudes painting a house. Like none of us like care about that, but we're sitting on our couch watching someone like paint a cabinet. Like we give a fuck.
I don't know, man. Well, yeah. But I think with that said, it's like if we don't have any expectations, you can't be disappointed.
No, and I've totally put all expectations out the window.
Yeah, it's a work in
At
progress
least when it comes to
for me.
social media, I'm just not good at it. Like I'm
Yeah.
not a good marketer. It's funny. I get yelled at all the time by my buddy Walt, who records and produces my stuff
Mhm.
now. And he's always like, you put too many other people's songs on your stories. And
You
I'm like,
do.
yeah, I totally do. I splash that shit. But
Yeah.
it's like that's the shit that I would like to see from other artists. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I think, well, no, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it depends how you tackle that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but if it's if it's like clearly like just other people's content that you're sharing, like there has to be some sort of balance, if that, you
yeah,
know. So I don't know. I think there's nothing wrong with sharing other music and other artists that you enjoy, but I think it's like because I kind of see his point. Like if I'm following this artist for this reason, like I like their art, I like their craft,
mm-hmm.
whatever it may be. But all I'm seeing, at least on a regular basis, is like posts of other artist stuff. It's kind of like, I mean, it's cool because then like, all right, yeah, I'll check these artists out. Like, like maybe there's a similar aesthetic, and then but then after that, it's like I don't know. These are questions that start coming up in my head. I'm like, all right, so like, what are you up
Yeah,
to? And
exactly.
like in this, like, if they're
Mm-hmm.
keeping it closed doors, like behind the scenes, like, all right, but I don't know. Like, it brings up questions about the artist, the actual person that I'm trying to see what's up with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
because
and the
like,
way the way that I look at it is like I don't write music and have shit to post all the time, but I
yeah,
listen to music constantly. So
yeah,
like anytime that I'm like, I don't know, if I'm listening to something and it like hits a bell or whatever, I'll throw it up. You know what I mean? And even if it's like one or two, like, I get texts or messages all the time, like, yo, I fucking love that song or this or that, or even if no one clicks on it, I don't care. Like, that's just like, you know, like
yeah,
music and shit is my world. So
yeah,
if I'm not writing stuff and I have free time or I'm at work and listening to something like, if it's something like I also don't post any of those songs for no reason. So if you like, I don't know, if you're following me and you go and listen to that song, like, there's a reason why I post. I'm not just spraying the internet with Britney Spears songs. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
right.
Like, yeah, like there was a line in there that made me tear up, and I'm like, all right, I got to throw it on my Instagram story. God damn it! Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a matter of balance, and I guess,
And I've
well,
been trying to figure that out a little more, like throwing
yeah,
more of my stuff up. I'll throw like
that's
one
the
or two. I
intent.
mean, you remember the days where it was like 20 Instagram stories deep of all just like my fucking playlist for that day.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
tightening it up a little bit,
No,
but
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you do mix it up. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Like, you definitely keep things mixed.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, sure, you still post other music, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I
Yeah.
think it's like if you look at it in like one day, like one day of stories, if a like majority of that content is like sharing other people's stuff, then it's like, I mean, I can see why, Walt would, like be worried about, or just point that out, because yeah, because I
Yeah.
believe in that too. Like,
I mean, and he's not wrong. I have
yeah.
200 and something followers still. So
I
it's
mean,
not like I'm killing the game.
I hate the game, but yeah, marketing is such a
Dude, the fucking game is so
key.
stupid.
It
So
is.
I feel like I've gotten to a point where I'm only gonna focus on hitting up venues and getting gigs. Because in the last like couple months, like, and it's really good practice for me, and that's honestly what I love, is being able to like play a show.
Yeah.
But I really feel like that's like the most organic way to build the fan base, like an actual like
Just gonna
people
say,
that really give a fuck about you, that it's not just like in one of my songs that I posted, and then like I
yeah,
want people to buy "fuck Hadley" t-shirts the next time I make a run. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
exactly. And those are the things you got to think about for sure, especially the more serious you get about about that pursuit, is like those are important things to think about, considering like, all right, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? And
mhm.
if pursuing music, going on the road and playing gigs and stuff is part of that, like, yeah, you just gotta, like, I guess focus on it more, and yeah, just try to book as many gigs. That's just my thinking. I
Yeah,
don't
no, and you're 100% right. Like I think I'm at a point. I don't know if I talked about this the last time, but like December 2019, I worked in the car business like my whole life, pretty much after high school. Um, I was running like a tire shop, making 140,000 a year with a brand new car. Fucking money wise, I was perfect. But
Mm.
deep down inside, I was like, if I continue to have to do this every single day for the rest of my life, I'm gonna kill myself. Like,
Yeah,
it just
there's a
doesn't
lot of
fulfill
that.
me.
Oh, shit.
So I ended up quitting. I started working with my buddy in construction, uh, and I started, that gave me the opportunity to work until 3 o'clock every day. Like, I bust my ass doing manual labor, but then I come home and I can, play music and do what I want. And I'm not so stressed out. But, and that's like kind of the thing, like that, my dream would be able to have me playing music, like make a living for myself, and not even a lot. Like, let me buy a new Kia and like pay my rent. And I'm like, that's like, I'm not looking for like a bus and a jacuzzi and dating Megan
Right.
Fox. Like, I know that's not going to happen, but just like,
But be able to do it full time where you don't.
yeah, be able to, exactly, where I could wake up, or I have money to record shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I've been sitting on 20 songs that I want to make a full length record and really produce it with Walt. And that's, that stuff costs money, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
so it's, it's, I don't know, it's a weird, I feel like playing live shows will give me some way more exposure than anything I can do on social media.
Yeah, I still have that like love-hate relationship with it. I always talk about it, bitch about it, but
Yeah.
it is a bitch. Because it's like, you try to be as engaging as you can with the followers that you have, and it's exhausting to
Yeah.
be able to have enough content to just keep putting it out, man. That shit is draining, trust me.
Mhm. And
But
then you're sitting here thinking like, what's going to excite everyone today that I get a post? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Well, now that I put stuff on YouTube, it's like, I mean, it's even more than just the content. It's like, all right, how do I make this thumbnail appealing enough to get the clicks? Like, you gotta always bait people. Everything is baiting. Like you gotta
A
bait
fucking
people.
game. It's the whole thing is a game. We've all turned into fucking uh I'm trying to think of like the greediest corporate company, but they're all the same shit. Like
Yeah,
we're all just fucking metaversing each other.
yeah, man. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, if that's, I don't know, because I have a rebellious nature, as part
Well,
of my
and I'm kind of
personality.
the same way. Like I don't want to be a part of the game. Like
Yeah,
it was funny. My dad also told me I played a show last weekend, or like 3 songs. He had a show, and I played like 3 songs for like a bathroom intermission break. And at one point, I forgot like one of the words to the songs, and he's like, "You need an iPad. That's everyone's got an iPad with lyrics and this and that." And I'm like, "Fucking Bob Dylan didn't have that. Like, I'm not
yeah,
gonna sit there with an iPad to sing my songs. Like,
yeah.
even if I fuck one up, like I'm old school, man. I don't care. You know,
I know,
that's like a part. That's a part of the show.
but I mean, if you think about it, though,
No,
Bob
don't
Dylan,
try to
Bob,
talk me into it.
I'm just
I'm
saying,
not
this is
gonna
just
fucking.
something
I
to
won't fucking do it.
consider.
I
This
will
is
buy
just.
an iPad and I'll break it in front of everyone before I start a set, and I'll fuck every song
I'm
up
not. I'm not telling
just
you
out of
what to
spite.
do. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I'm just gonna say that yeah, you're right. Bob Dylan didn't do that, but different times, man. We have so much distractions. I feel like things are harder to remember. Like I have this theory. I didn't talk to anyone about it, and I've been waiting for another podcast to talk about. But maybe I can get into it with you about like how I think social media has like kind of fucked with like our memory in terms of like being able to remember people's names, right? Because every time
Yeah,
I meet someone new, I always point out, I'm like, hey, like I'm really bad with names, so I apologize in advance if I forget. And every
yeah.
time I say that, like every person says the same shit, and I'm like, huh, like maybe I always thought it was just me,
No, it's everybody.
and it's everybody now. And then I'm like, oh, maybe because we're trying to connect with like a million people on social media, half with like their real names, or no, not half with their real names, but a portion with their actual real names, a portion with like that they just go by their middle names, or like another portion that with like a fake, Instagram handle.
Yeah.
So it's like fuck, like so many names I gotta remember now because of social media, so many people that we follow. And I think that's why we're all like, oh yeah, I'm bad with names. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
because we have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, uh,
Yep. We're
YouTube.
fucking brainwashed. That's the problem. We're not bad with names. I totally agree with you. I think as beautiful as social media is, you look around, I sit and I have lunch with the 2 guys that I work with. One's like 45, my boss, Ryan, and then my buddy, Chris, is probably like somewhere in his late 30s. And they sit there and like they scroll through TikTok videos and like that's their entertainment. And you know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's like, and you go on the bus, you see people that are they're so involved with like the shit that doesn't even, none of it matters. Like,
yeah,
tell me the last time you saw something on Facebook that was like fuck, like, or Instagram, like it's cool stuff, but none of it's like actually important. And I feel like we just drowned ourselves into like next, you know what I mean? Like that kind of a lifestyle because of it, which sucks, you know?
yeah. I don't. I really try not to. Like, I avoid scrolling through reels because I used to have TikTok, and then I got off of that, and now my wife.
Everyone tells me they're like, make a TikTok, put your
I mean,
music clips up or whatever. And I'm like, no, I don't want to, like, I don't want to be a part of that.
it's
Like
just
Instagram and Facebook is enough. And just really Instagram's the only one that I mess with because
yeah,
there's like visual content. It's,
yeah.
like I guess the artistic social media, but the rest of it is like, it's all just noise and
I
people
think
get
it's
so
really a
consumed.
preference. I think it's really a preference because
Yeah.
some people do well on TikTok and then some people don't. Like a lot of the like I don't want to say like famous artists, but like a lot of the like successful artists that I follow, I mean, granted, they make enough money to have these teams that'll handle the social media, but they're on like all the platforms. I mean, to really expand, yeah, I think it does help, but I think it's like, but if you just don't like it, then I wouldn't fuck with it. And that's kind of how I've been sort of treating my use of other platforms. Is like, this is just what I can handle. And I mean, yeah, I don't want to sit and do the work of like handling all of these apps. Honestly, like I'd rather just do the work of handling Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at this point. And I mean, like, yeah, I was gonna say podcasting, but I'll just say YouTube. You know, I'll just handle what I can handle.
Yeah, exactly. And that, you know, you at the end of the day, you got to focus on making real art, right? Like
Yeah,
none of the
that's
other shit.
sure.
Like, I mean, yeah, I get it. I'd have more followers, right? Like if we made content, but it's like like when do we have time to make like fucking video content when we're actually making the shit that like is our normal content anyway? Like, you know how long it takes to.
Straight up discipline and fucking time management, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, like it really is. Like, I don't know. I feel like I have a hard time because I don't know, maybe because being married and whatnot. When my wife gets home, I try to make sure I'm like done for the day with my work, so then I can spend the evening and then
Yeah.
the rest of the night with her.
Yeah. And
So,
family time and shit, you know?
but I mean, it's true though. The people that really crunch hours and like stay in their office or studio just working. Like I was, I admire that too. But me, I can't do that anymore. Like I've done that. That's the thing too. Like I've kind of like done that to a certain degree, and it's like I need my sleep.
Yeah.
I need quality sleep for me to operate the way I operate now.
Yeah.
So
And rest, you know?
yeah. So it's just, yeah, I don't know. You gotta, it's like, I don't want to say be smart with your time, but it's just, yeah, really using your time wisely and
Yeah.
more, actually, not even wisely, more intently.
Yeah.
Because, I'm always talking that shit. And, I'll be honest, I find myself, if I'm trying to do something focusing on like the business with social media, and then I catch myself bullshitting on it, I'm like, fuck. Like I catch myself doing that often throughout the day. It's
Yeah.
tough, man. There's so many distractions. So it's like having discipline and then being intent on like what you're doing at that moment.
Yeah. And how you're spending your time, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
There was when I was in rehab, there was like a homeless shelter. There was like an old homeless guy he was an overnight guest. He would leave like during the day. And they had a smoke room. And me and him were up. I had gotten there like maybe 6 days prior. I was still like kicking a bunch of drugs and shit. Like it was a rough time. And we were having a cigarette, and he looked at me and he was like, "You only get to live today once." Like, you know, and that was it. That was really all that like I had to hear. And it's so fucking true. Like, you know, you create shit, all this kind of stuff, but like it's important to like still be present
Mm,
in the day that you're in, and where you're at even now, like us being present during this before, we go off to do the other thing. But
yeah.
it's it's important, at least for me, it's important to like remember that because you know
I think that's definitely something important to remember. That should be, it's like
yeah,
one
dude, best advice I ever got by like a 65-year-old toothless homeless dude. It's fucking great. I was just, it hit me so hard. I
there's
was like, I'm
truth
never
though.
doing heroin again.
There's
Like
truth to that.
like you got to make the best of what you could do, and you know, all that kind of shit. You know,
Yeah. Well, there was like,
and that's part of the reason why I'm like, I'm not going to make a TikTok. Like, I don't want I have no time for any of that, nor will I
yeah,
enjoy it. So like,
I thought about going back on there, but
we're like, like pumping social media hard. Like, what I enjoy is playing music. So
yeah,
I should focus more on like calling venues in New York because it's
yeah,
45 minutes away. Being like, hey, you need an opener on a Tuesday because I'm your dude. Like,
Yeah.
you know, shit like that. Like that's that's what I'd rather spend my time on, you know.
So is that the current goal as of right now?
That
Like
essentially
book as
that's
many
where I'm at.
dates?
Yeah, I'm gonna play literally as much as I can, you know.
Do you hope
Like
to like tour like around the country, like around
it's
the
why
East
do you
Coast?
think the only reason I write sad songs is literally so that like my life could be like traveling and seeing cool places and like uh all of that. Like I don't even fucking like music. Just like I want a hot tub and I want to be able to like get in a van and go, and like instead of I'm done with the office job or the, you know,
Yeah.
walking into someone's backyard at 7:30 and having to dig 4-foot holes all day with like a shovel and a fucking thing. Like I don't like I want to wake up and like get to the next town, go to an antique shop, and then like go do sound check. Like probably have a beer on the way, but and
Probably.
that's that's the cool part of it. Like I don't it's even if I'm playing in small venues, like I don't really care. That's kind of that's the point of the whole thing.
Well, I mean, a gig's a gig's a gig's a gig.
Exactly. Yeah. And I played some weird ones. I not even weird, just I had a really humbling experience a couple weeks ago. I
Mm,
had to reschedule a show that I was doing at Green Hive.
mm,
And because I
heard
I
that.
ended up me and the other kid had COVID that he was playing that was playing with me.
Oh,
And when we did the reschedule, there was 3 people that showed up. And then just like I was looking at like Jules from Green Hive and I was like, I'm so sorry I didn't pull a fucking crowd because the first show I had like 20 friends that were all planning on going. And so and we rocked it for the whole street. There was people that came in off the street, but there was literally only like 4 people that actually came there to like, come and see
oh,
me play. So
yeah.
but at the end of the day, it was still, I mean, it was probably one of the best shows I've ever played. So, you know, it's that's kind of what has made me realize, like, I just need to like, I was good at selling cars. So I just got to sell some like venue owners some shit and we'll be fine. uh, and like plan it accordingly. Or I need a tour manager. Anyone that wants, they literally take like half the money. I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like I don't know. I guess like it's like a lot of stuff is like hard to be able to do on your own. It definitely
yeah,
requires.
I mean, the good part is it's just me, so it's me and my gear, right? It's not like a band where you
Right.
have you need to have a trailer and every 5 people. Like I could fit my shit in my Kia and like go do
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? So that helps, but it's just a matter of doing it, like putting in the work, calling, sending emails, like reaching out, seeing what I can figure out. So
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of small steps that have to be made.
yeah, definitely.
Uh,
You know,
yeah,
but
and a lot of investing because that's where I'm at least. I might just be projecting, but I'm like I feel like it's kind of like I don't know for better results. Like it's like we have to be able to invest a little bit more somehow.
mhm.
Whether it's invest more focus or invest a little more money, whatever it may be. But it's a tough
Yeah,
bid. Tough
it
bid.
is. Struggle's real. That's what makes it so beautiful. Like
Audiences
that.
love hearing
Yeah, you got to put the work in while it sucks to be able to like see what
that.
happens at least.
Well, I mean, that's like if we're just looking at it in this one aspect. I mean, there's definitely other beautiful aspects of it. I mean, being able to
Oh
do it
yeah,
because you love it, and you connect with people with your music, that having some of your interactions. So there's a lot of positives on it. So
yeah. The whole thing is,
yeah,
that's why we do it.
yeah, but the marketing though, gonna have to step up somehow.
I know I need to take notes for this one. Because in marketing and then social media.
It's just I don't know. I'm not one to like give tips. Like I would love to help out if needed, but I'm not trying to like make it sound like I know exactly what I'm doing. Like I'm in the same boat just as much, you know. So
yeah.
You know, honestly, yeah, when I share other artists stuff, like sometimes rarely I'll share from like other posts that I follow, like other accounts I follow on Instagram, but I mean, as far as sharing other artists, it's the podcast that's been the main avenue.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know where I was trying to go with that, but actually, it doesn't cost anyone to show some you know engagement with your content. I'll go back to that. Like
yeah, exactly. This is what this whole thing's about. This is a sales call for all of the people that listen to this. It's like, yo,
so
you support us.
If
Hit a like
you're
button, hit a share. Yeah, tell friends. You know what I mean?
You are watching, exactly. If
actually
you're watching or listening,
yep.
like, share, follow, go follow those links in the show descriptions, all that good stuff, because it's all out.
Yeah, exactly. Support local artists, you know,
exactly.
or people trying to do it. Yeah, and just know if you don't, we'll judge you. You know what I mean? Like we'll still keep doing this, but we're gonna judge you. Let's be
You
real.
left that, by the way, you left that video up. I thought you were really gonna delete that one video you posted up.
And I kept it. It was good, right? It was fun to say I was gonna delete it. Yeah, that made people. It was the cat. It was the hook. You know, people were like, "Shit, he's gonna delete it," so I have to watch it. But
it was good.
Yeah, it sounded good, right? That was fun.
So that's one of your new tracks right now. One of the new songs you're working on.
No, I think was that the one that was on Electric. I think, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I was playing and it was just the Fender. No, so that's a song that I released like 2 years ago, Babe.
Older track. Okay.
Yeah, and it's just a different, like it's on Spotify. It's one of the songs that me and Walt like full produced, or really Walt did, but added full band to it, percussion, all that shit. And I've just been trying to have fun with it and play it like on my electric, you know, alone. So until I have a full band, that's like I'm trying to make it like still the way it sounds on Spotify, because it's way more upbeat than a lot of my shit, you know.
I don't think wait, all right, so it wasn't in your last album?
Nah, that was that was an older song.
Okay, because I'm like, I don't recognize it. I don't recognize the title, so I was like,
yeah.
What about
it was a single that I put out maybe like I think it was like April 2020, something like that. Sounds like
what about Bill Gates? Is that a new one, or is that another?
Yeah, Bill Gates. I was gonna say, if you want me to play something, I should play Bill, because it goes totally along with the shit that we're talking about.
Oh, does it? No, then fuck
yeah. I mean, I think so lyrically, but
okay, yeah. I didn't want to put you on a spot. Like, if you totally want, yeah, man, I'm open to it. I figured, you know.
Yeah, but that's a new one that I'm hoping, you know, once I could start. I haven't started recording the new record yet.
Yeah.
I've kind of been like in just the spot of writing a ton of shit, and then like I'll go there and whatever shit we could stick to the wall out of like the compilement of stuff I have, you know, I'll make do. But I think that's gonna be a song that'll definitely be on the record, just because a lot of people, you know, like my cousin is he's a music major at he's a music teacher now, but went to like Westminster choir college, like sang in like legit, like I mean it's like Broadway stuff, or orchestra stuff, but and he told me that was like one of his favorite songs so far that I played, you know?
Okay. So how many would you say you have enough songs to put one together now, or you want to make a few more track, like write a few more songs?
It's I don't have money for it.
Okay, so
That's
it's
really
just a matter of budget.
it's really just comes. Yeah, I don't have like extra money right now
Yeah.
to be able to like
I don't,
afford to.
but when are you gonna like cut? Like, when are you gonna be like, all right, this is the last one of like, this is where the album ends, and like I'll just save that.
No, I don't. I'll probably. I mean, until once I get the money for it,
Yeah.
or figure out recording and stuff. Like it, I don't know.
Hmm.
There was even the last record. Like there was stuff that I pulled out for that I had wrote 2 years ago, and then there was like one of those songs. I forget which one it was. I had written like 4 days before recording it. So I think it just kind of, I don't know, the right one could pop out
Hmm.
when I think that I have enough. But and then I think a lot of it is when you're recording a full record is, you need 12 songs. So it's like, what's the 12 that are going to fit the best? I need to get off of the kind of acoustic thing and get more like full band and fun with it. So it's like what songs work with that rather than.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about that too. I was gonna eventually ask that, is when do you see yourself playing with a full band? Even if it was just like a three piece, like you, a bassist and a drummer, even at
I
that.
mean, I definitely, I have a couple good friends that we could start kind of practicing and doing that with. My buddy Bill plays with me a lot, but I really want like a drummer to have percussion.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I think me and Walt can do enough in the studio to make it full band, at least like on the record. And then when the time comes, like, it's also hard to like, that shit takes people's time up. Like I don't have money to pay them. You know what I mean? Like if we're playing, so it's.
I think that's what Joey did with his with one of his records.
Yeah, him and Casey. Yeah.
Well, no, he did the one track with Casey, but I think like
Oh yeah.
the record had drums in it, but I think it was like, I think he just like, didn't he just use like GarageBand or something to do the drums?
Yeah, probably.
Because it was
Yeah,
like
it's so much easier to.
yeah.
Mhm. And that's probably what will happen is if I put something out next that catches, and if I get enough shows where I could like offer people money to come and like play with me and stuff and practice. And but for now, the next one will definitely be all computer, or not computer, but playing and playing drums like in the studio. Walt has all like his studio is actually really nice.
Yeah.
It's like a really cool spot.
Nice.
Yeah, and he set it up. It's like a real studio. It's not like in a basement. Like
Right.
it's not like in his mom's house. Like
Whatever
no,
works,
it's like
though, right?
nah, but it's like no, but like it's like an actual music studio.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's in like half of a warehouse in Patterson. It's the coolest shit ever.
In Patterson.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
his family has like
hate
a
that.
perfume company where they bottle perfume, and it's this huge old school warehouse. Uh, it's like all brick. It's on like a terrible road. Like I bought drugs like literally a block and a half away from like where we go, which is the irony of it because now I go and I'm not doing that shit and I'm like making music. Like that's the cool
Yeah.
part of the whole thing. But yeah, but then and he made the whole thing like really professional. He has a huge live room. He's got a vocal room with, and then his control room that has literally anything you need to produce stuff or, he went to school for it for years.
Okay. So he knows what he's
Years.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so it's sweet. But I'm excited. I just want to go have fun. Like I want to have one of my
Oh
friends play a tambourine. You know what I mean? Like on
yeah.
some shit. Like I don't want to make him any more. I mean, there might be one or two slow acoustic songs, but I'm over that.
Okay.
It's time to like kind of have some fun with it.
You
And still,
ever
listen, I'll still be sad, I promise. But
you ever consider using one of those loop pedals?
yeah, that's what I have now, actually.
Oh, do you
Like
okay,
that.
you do use that? Do you use that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that Babe video that you were talking about, my like one of my last posts. I towards the end, I looped it, added tempo to it, like all on.
Oh, okay.
I have a little one. It's not like it only has like two pedals on it, where
Mm,
sometimes you could get like a bunch of shit or like four, but
nice.
it's still I'm fucking with it. I'm just having
Yeah. No,
fun.
of course. Yeah, have fun with it as you're learning.
Mhm.
Like I think I was having that conversation with one of the previous guests about like I was trying to put like a positive message to the audience. I was like, look, whatever, it just like, and just to make sure you enjoy the thing that you're doing,
Yeah,
whatever that is.
yeah,
If you're making money on it, like that's great, but
sweet, but
like you want to at least still love what you're doing and enjoy the
Mhm.
process still.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
But it sucks because when you want to make it a successful business, ultimately, you got to worry about the numbers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then I think I'll always write songs, but I don't know, what did they say? Like 10 years for an artist to like to be able to make a fan base where they can make a living.
Yeah.
If you're like in the game and stuff. Um, so I'm at year like 4.
Yeah.
But
Also, yeah. And like, well, as I'm like saying this shit, I have to be mindful. Like, you know, you're pursuing music and I'm pursuing, visual arts. So even though there's commonalities between the two, I don't think that's a real word, but whatever. Even though
that
there's
was I totally yeah.
was it right?
No, it was
Commonality.
it's a real word.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it's still different. There are still different approaches to it. So you know, I'm kind of talking out of my ass. So
Nah, you're not talking about your ass. Well, and even with visual art though, like it's you know, like that's where like Instagram and stuff like that, like the videos that you post of like you drawing a picture, like that's the cool shit that you could like see.
it's cool. It's fun to create, but kind of like going back to what you were saying before about being present. That like anytime I'm working on something, I'm always thinking about you know recording it so I can make something like out of the content. Like I'm always thinking content, and
Yeah.
then it then leads to focusing less on the art. I think my cat is breaking into my office. Huh?
I'm surprised Donna hasn't broken
Siler's right there.
it.
Oh, food. Oh, dinner time.
Oh yeah, no, we're good.
For the cats. Okay. Shit. What we were talking about just now.
No, I feel you though. It's it takes away from like being
Oh
present
yeah.
to actually like making the process of making the art.
Yeah, like I can't just doodle. Like I'm always whining about like not being able to actually just sit down and doodle and fuck around because I'm always trying to turn it into something profitable. And
Yeah,
it's like, no, this is just like for fun. This is practice. This
the
is
American greed in all.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
really.
that's what it
That's
is. It's embedded in us now.
like don't get me wrong, I love doing the portrait stuff I do, like this in my mini sketchbook, but then sometimes I'm like, man, like not every page has to be like a nice crisp like illustration.
Yeah, right.
In the earlier pages, there are pages where I'm just brainstorming ideas, and then after that, it just started becoming more like professional sketches. I'm like, oh
Mhm.
shit, like I hit the switch at some point. Uh, and
Well, and
then
that's crazy how much I'm sure that takes a lot of time. I would never be able to draw a fucking thing. So like when
well,
I
I think it's just. I think that's like how I'm sure that's kind of like how writing is for yourself and other writers, you know, po- poets.
yeah.
Like get like everything that you write down, even if it's just like a segment of something or just a line that sounded really catchy in a certain melody or whatever. Like I think that's like the same thing.
Hmm. Yeah, true.
Yeah, it just depends how you slice it.
Yep.
uh, I actually wanted to ask you earlier. Have you had any positive feedback from since your first appearance on the podcast? I often worry about these things.
Oh, from us like being on the podcast.
Yeah, I just like, people that tuned in if they, if they just enjoyed whatever they heard.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I'm like
You can
slowly
be
moving up.
honest. You
Yeah,
don't
I've gained like, I don't know. I feel like as a whole, and not even the pod. Like I had a couple friends that listened to it. My sister loved it to death. Like
okay,
she was like it
cool.
was entertaining. Like it was, that like people that I know that enjoy my music or that said something was cool. But I think just in general, kind of like putting myself out there more. In the last couple months, like I've gotten a decent amount of feedback from.
It's great. I just
Because
yeah,
I think I wasn't doing that like at all before. I mean, except for like my bedroom videos, but they're not like,
well, I just worry
shit.
about the certain like I mean I want to make sure I I do at least a decent job, if not a good job, marketing the local talent. Like
Oh yeah, no,
because
definitely.
like I'm taking people's time to sit with me for sometimes a couple of hours, sometimes 3 hours, and like I just want to make sure I do my part and you know like at least like giving you like you guys the exposure. I think there's a reason why I approach a lot of these people. Like I'm intrigued and
Yeah,
I think you're talented. Like there's a reason why I want to sit down and then like connect with all these creative people. So I always just it's one of the things I always say, like every time I sit down with someone, especially for the first time and after recording, like I generally have good feelings, but then it like suddenly goes to like, oh man, I hope I was a good host. I hope the guest was able to speak their mind and like have a voice on the platform, like all this shit. Like I just wanted to make sure I played my part right and was able to help the guest. And
yeah. I
as
mean,
long as
I
you got
listen.
positive feedback, that's all I hope. As long as you got
I
positive
wouldn't be
feedback.
back. You know, I wouldn't be on for a second time if it wasn't like if I like there was some shady feelings or something. I was like, if the conversation got rapey, I would, I wouldn't be back.
Yeah,
Nah, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. Like no one. I feel like the only thing I put out is just me playing a sad like some song in my room. No one gets to see me have like a conversation about shit or anything. You
yeah,
know,
because it's
I've
interesting
and
seeing
yeah,
people's
I think
different
it's
environment.
yeah, we get all over the place, but it's still it's fun,
Yeah.
and that's really that's what you create, like you know. So I think I give you an A plus.
Oh well, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a work in progress. Um, honestly, it's really funny because I don't know what it is, but as of late, I've been featuring a lot of musicians, like bands or band members and producers and stuff. I'm like, what is it? Like right now, I'm just like, I'm suddenly booking a bunch of musicians right now. Not that there's anything wrong, but I'm like, it's like a handful of musically talented people that I'm featuring on the podcast
Yeah.
as of late, and it's like, huh.
Yeah, because we're all like, because we could all finally play shows again. Like we're not like getting,
Maybe I guess
like we're all coming back out of the woodwork. It's like cockroaches.
perhaps, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some truth to that. I
Yeah.
always make sure yeah, I do. Because we're talking about booking more shows. Do you have any coming up?
Yeah, I have one August 5th. It's a Friday. It's in Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Okay,
Um,
nice.
I'll post stuff about it. It's like another art show. It
Okay.
was an artist that I met like at the last one I played, and she's like, "Hey, I'm doing a thing, like an exhibit with a couple artists. Do you want to come like play for whenever?" So yeah,
Sweet.
so that'll be that one, and then I need to get my shit together and hit up Webster Hall and fucking Mercury Lounge and all these, and just be like, "Hey, do you guys like?" I'll just send them cupcakes like before, and just I'll figure out who like their booking person is, and I'll just send them like flowers, and I don't know, hopefully that'll work. So
I mean, are there a lot of spots that?
there's a handful that I play now.
Mhm.
Um, there's a decent amount in like, especially in New York. There's so many little venues that do live music every night, and like just unless they don't have shit. So
Yeah.
I think entertainment is. And I was talking to Joe actually Pavent about it, and I
Yeah.
think we're gonna start. He was like, "I'll play wherever." I was like, "Same."
Nice.
So
Yeah. Shout out to Joe Paventa.
yeah, keeping it real. He just played with me last Friday. Him
I
and
was gonna
Casey.
ask you about that. How
Yeah,
how was that
it was.
show?
I think it was a great show.
Yeah.
We got yelled at a couple of times for being too loud, but it was.
Wait, is this Green Hive or is this Jersey?
Yeah, the brewery that we played
Yeah.
at. Which I mean, come on, you bring us to a brewery. Like,
Wait,
what do you
you're
think's gonna
too
happen?
loud at a
Yeah,
brewery? Oh
yeah. Of course
My
we're gonna get
God.
loud.
I
You know.
mean, and it was like a Friday night, right? Was that the Friday night one?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
okay,
But
yeah.
it went really well. Like it was fun. Like I get excited when shit like that happens. I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. And I turn it up a little bit more. Just, but
Oh,
yeah, but it was a great show. They killed it. I love their new stuff. Is really cool.
dude. Well, so I'm I'm planning on having him and oh geez, I'm blanking on his name. Casey, right?
Kate, yeah,
Yeah, I was commenting on one of the videos that they shared. I'm like, oh, this sounds like new shit. And
yeah.
yeah, something along. I was like, yeah, like one day we should set something up. Have both of you on the podcast. We could talk. When
Mhm.
once they got some more stuff they want to share.
Yeah,
You know, yeah.
yeah. They're killing it. They
That's
played a really
cool.
good set.
I mean, you both. Yeah, I mean that's definitely like an interesting lineup. Interesting in a good way. You fit. You both fit. Like
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, and then I go up and get drunk and make everyone sing Whitney Houston. Dude, I've been doing it the last like 3 shows I've done it, and it gets
I was gonna say, it looks like you got some good crowd work going. You had a
yeah,
couple
it's exciting.
clips.
I mean, I have to. I write depressing shit in a way that like if I don't, it just gets weird and everyone stares at me like. So if I don't make quick jokes in between or just have fun with it, like it
Yeah.
ends up it could be a very big downer. We'll put it that way. But
When you're not consuming music, what are you then consuming? So basically, like what are your other like interests outside of music? I don't know if we ever got into that last time.
I mean,
That's comedy.
Yeah, I listen to stand up a lot. Like I'll scroll through Facebook. I enjoy art and stuff like that. But really, for the most part, if I'm not like working, and even at work too, we listen to music all the time.
Yeah.
But like if I'm not like working or with like my girlfriend, her son, and stuff, and I'm watching like Mickey Mouse Club. If I'm alone, I'm like
Mickey Mouse.
I'm always listening to music alone, which is probably a bad thing. Like my ears are starting to go.
Well,
I'm starting to get deaf.
Yeah, that's
so like it's it might be a bad thing, but yeah, that's
blasting.
really
You're just blaring shit into your earlobes.
Yeah, exactly. I've turned it down. And my iPhone has yelled at me so many times in the last. They must have done an update where they're like, now this is unsafe, and they were like, hey.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it happens all the time. I'm sure that people know. Anyone listening?
I didn't know that.
Really, you don't?
Well, honestly, I haven't used earphones or anything with my phone in so long. Yeah. Like, yeah, because when I'm using it for music, I'm at the gym and like that's it. I just let that shit play out. Half the time I'm alone anyway.
Yeah.
But,
If that being said, the next time, like when we're done with this or later on, go and listen to like that video that you were talking about of Babe with headphones in, like as high as you can get it, because it's like I feel, and that's the thing that sucks with my shit is it sounds so much different coming out of an iPhone speaker than it does like headphones. Like, which is part of the reason why, like, which is, and just like the video recordings, anything I post, like it just, it sounds good like in headphones, but it comes out of the iPhone like way too differently. So, which is why I haven't posted that much, like me playing. I mean, I have, but not as much as I used to.
Did we talk about recording your sets? Do you record your sets?
No, I don't. I should. That would be fun.
Do you not record your sets just because it's like a hassle, or like you forget?
I just don't have the shit to do it.
Okay.
Like I'll have I had my girlfriend recorded the last show. Like that's why I had a couple of those clips I can put up from.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I should do that though.
You just have to just make some fucking makeshift tripod thingy majig. Hold your phone, prop your phone up.
Yeah, true.
The hustle's real, man.
It is. Yeah, we're sucking dicks out here, dog. That's what we got.
Honestly, I'm sure you can relate a lot to stand up because it's like the same shit. Really.
It really is. You're entertaining people for an hour. Like there's you know what I mean? It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Especially
I think it's easier with music. Like I don't know if I would be able to just talk for an hour, and I mean that's a totally different
for sure. I get that. At least like when you're playing music, I don't know. I imagine because I haven't played in front of a live crowd in fucking forever, but you can at least get lost in the music. Like you can like fucking jam out, and you're just you get to a point where you think it's just you and your boys jamming out, or or if you're just jamming out by yourself, but then you're like, oh shit, that's right, there's people here. But when you're doing stand up, it's like nah.
It's literally if you bomb, like I feel like I would bomb so hard if I ever had to do a stand up set. Even like 10 minutes, I don't think I could do that.
Oh God, 10 minutes. I'm stressing over a minute if I ever try to it, bro. I was telling I had this chick, this artist, Jenna Davis, on. She's a big comedy like podcast fan. And we're talking about oh shit, stand up, something about stand up, and I don't know, man. I really wouldn't be able to do it. Oh, that's what it really came down to. Really wouldn't be able.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to pull it off. But I was telling her about the Kill Tony podcast. Do you listen to that or watch that?
Yeah, I love
such a great podcast.
It's one of my favorite things ever.
But it's beautiful because you get to see like it's in its rawest form of like true like the process. Like you see a lot of first timers, and then you see a lot of people that have been in the game for X amount of months or years, and how well,
Yeah.
like if they've done it for a short time but they're really good at it, it shows a lot about like how much they love the craft. So it's crazy to witness that like live on a podcast. And yeah, a lot of talent getting noticed because of it too. It's crazy.
Yeah, right. Hans Kim.
But seeing the ones that bomb, it's like, like I don't know. Like it's so funny because sometimes even the ones that are good, like they're terrible at interviews. So I feel like I always like, not that I ever see myself in the position, but if I were in the position, I'd probably do maybe okay on the interview part, but not on the stand up.
The stand up's tough. It's hard to. I think we should give each other homework and just write a minute set, and then we'll just like send it just to us. Like I'll just send you a video. We'll be like, "Yo, we got it," because it would be fun. But
that would be hilarious.
I also have a terrible sense of humor, so like, what I would probably get canceled immediately. Like,
why? What's terrible? What kind of sense of humor?
No, just like I would probably say something horrible.
Like you like dark humor?
Yeah, not even dark, but just like shit that would piss people
off. I think most cases that's dark humor.
Yeah, like I would be like, paid $6 a gallon on the way here because of the Ukraine tax price.
Dude, it's
just shit. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think I would piss people off if I did it in front. But I'm gonna write one anyway. I'll fucking do it. I'm gonna write a minute.
That's part of the journey of being a stand-up is pissing people off. Because figure out like, what's funny. Yeah, it's like what's your
style? I'm gonna write a minute. We'll do this shit. It'll be part of art.
I've caught myself trying to come up with a joke once, and it was like not going well. I couldn't even remember. I tried bringing it up once with somebody else, and I couldn't remember it. But the premise was like you can tell. Oh, what was it? It's like you can tell who a person is by judging their, like looking at their shit. And I was like, I had this whole thing in the car. It's again, it sounded clever, but then I was like, nope. As I was trying to describe it, I'm like, nope, this was like it was a shitty joke.
It was a really
it just was trash. So I would not be able to do it.
I'm gonna bring one of those little notebooks around all day long with a pen, and just anytime I see something funny, start. There's a competition actually now. Who has the best minute? And then we have 2 months.
That'd be so funny. That'd be really funny though if we really try to pull that off. Because
maybe it's good. If it's good, that'll be
totally. I would bring in Jenna Davison on that too. I would make her fucking do it.
Yep. Then we'll have the next podcast. It'll just be us doing our minutes.
Yeah. Oh wait. Would it just be? We should do a podcast where we're basically doing Zoom shows.
Yeah.
Stand up Zoom shows.
Stand up Zoom shows.
And oh my god, that would be hilarious, but then probably awful.
Yeah, what?
That's a lot of pressure.
It is. A lot of pressure.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, how much time would I need to do a minute? I feel like I would go so hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to do quick jokes for a minute. Or actually, no, you could break it up. You could do like a 30-second joke and then, you know,
I don't know. Because
2
I'm
quick
like,
ones to just like
I don't know if I'm like
joke.
I don't know if I'm like the zinger type or if I'm a storyteller type. You
Yeah,
know,
this is true. It's a totally different craft.
fuck yeah, it
I
is.
fucking want to do it.
Ooh, uh, I actually wanted to pick your brain about this because this popped up. This popped up at least once or twice on my Facebook feed. I keep seeing these ads about AI doing things, and one of them was I saw. Well, this one wasn't an ad. It was I saw a Facebook reel of this dude like just going crazy over this AI that was creating music. Have you heard anything about that before?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yo, that shit is fucking crazy. I mean, it's
Yeah, I think
it's
I don't
neat.
remember what.
Then I'm like, great. Like AI can create music now, so
Yeah, why do they need us?
yeah.
There was, I think it was, I don't know if it was like Pink Floyd or it was one of those bands. There was an AI that like listened to the whole discography and then wrote a new song for them. I think Amy Winehouse, they actually did it for too, like in this robot, like, or the AI,
Yeah,
system, just like wrote a brand new song, all new lyrics based on what they heard through like what she put out, you know.
right.
And it was not a bad song. I was like, I get it, robots. Like, why the
Oh, but it's just like
I should go back to selling cars. This is stupid. Like, we're fucked. I thought
I
the
have
factory
mixed
workers
feelings.
were hit like on beat. You know,
Yeah,
but
just
it's crazy. It's crazy that we could do. I mean, it's not that crazy, I guess. You could program, you know, you could program a robot to do literally anything, or a
well, yeah,
computer.
because there's AI that produces paintings too, and even speeches. I saw an
Yeah,
ad for speeches, and
yeah.
like I'm not surprised, but it's just like I don't know, like I don't hear anyone like being worried about it, especially artists.
Yeah,
I feel indifferent about it. Like it's cool that we're able to get to
yeah,
that,
but it doesn't.
but I'm
Yeah,
like I guess like it'll really make the performers like I would hope that would help benefit the performers. Like people appreciate actual performers, but I don't
yeah.
know, man. Because me and my wife were hanging out with a friend over the weekend, and we're just talking about like, yeah, like we just like any type of live music, we love it. Like at this
Mm.
point, like it can be of any genre. It can even be like a little more experimental, but there's just something about when it's live. It's you
Yeah,
know,
it's different. You know,
yeah. So
seeing that this is when this comes full circle, because that's
well,
why I was saying that's what I'm trying to focus on. Is the live stuff is at least right now, and I feel a lot of people were cooped up for the last couple of years, so
oh
it's
yeah,
like nice to just get out, have a drink, and like listen to people sing stuff. You know,
yeah, yeah. There's
great time for that right now. It really is.
well, dude, well, I kind of going back to revisiting the question about touring and stuff because I mean, Richmond's far, but it would be cool to see you in the area because there's a lot of places you can perform here.
Yeah.
There's a bar like real like walking distance from us that we're all like we can hear the music from here sometimes, and like they just the artist support is definitely evident
Mm.
here. The music scene, the whole art scene. It's great. The comedy scene too. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing compared to like the other major cities. Not to my knowledge. Like I'm still fresh on the scene, but I mean, still there's a lot of comedians coming through this way, but definitely a great scene for just all that stuff. So it would be cool to see you. I mean, it's a long trip, so it's like
Nah, but I would if I could, I would set something up. My buddy Tony lives in Austin. He keeps telling me the same shit. He's like,
oh
"Yo,
yeah,
come."
Austin for sure.
Yeah. And all it is emailing some of those like the management or whatever for those places and being like, "Hey, like I'm coming through town. Do you have a slot in a month and a half?" Or and like actually just planning it out.
Yeah,
but I do plan on doing something like that very soon.
Nice.
Just because I mean, I'm not. I love the people that are here that support me, but I also don't think New Jersey and New York is like nice. I mean, New York maybe. I just haven't been there that much to play, but I don't think New Jersey is nice.
I mean, it definitely helps to go out and see.
Yeah, it's
out there.
Yep.
And
100%.
And and spread your music that way too. Like just play in town.
It'll definitely be something on the. It'll be the family vacation this year. Taking a week. It might be a Tuesday night, but I'll be in Virginia. Yo, can I piss real quick?
What's that?
I gotta pee real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead. All right, while Mike's taking a piss, I figure I'll take this opportunity to let everyone know, especially those that live in or around RVA, on August 21st, which is a Sunday, I will be attending at the end of summer artisan market at Hardywood West Creek. Again, that's August 21st. I believe the event will be running from 12 to 6 p.m. And yeah, so if you've been tuning in as of late, if you want to come check out my table setting, look at my work, chit chat, yeah, come on and say hi. And either way, come through, support the local artists and crafters and businesses. And that is all for now. Let's get back to the show.
I'm back.
Straight.
See, if we, if we had a Jamie, he could have paused this. I mean, like, yeah, bathroom.
Well, I could have easily paused it and do
nah,
the
it's worth it. Did you guys hear my loud toilet?
I don't know if I caught. I mean, I didn't hear it. But I don't know if your microphone caught it. I would like to have a Jamie for like research purposes, like.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know. Like, I also don't find myself in those positions of like needing someone to confirm something.
Yeah. Exactly.
But again, I don't know. It would be nice to have help. But I also don't know if I'm like in that position of actually needing help. Like, I'm still figuring out where I'm at right now. Like with this show and stuff. Like I just keep focusing on putting out, like you were saying, just keep putting out stuff, and just keep the machine going.
I don't think you need anyone. I was just joking around.
It would be nice though. Sometimes I think about it, I'm like, oh man, I could use it.
Or just someone to bounce, like, just like another voice out there that can just chime in occasionally.
Well, I just feel like a lot of podcasters have that. Like, even if they don't have a guest, they still got someone to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like, I mean, in the earlier episodes, there were a bunch of times I would just bring my wife on because, like, if I didn't have a guest, but I didn't want to just talk to, like, just talk into the mic. I wanted to bounce ideas or like my thoughts off of somebody, so I would just bring her in.
Yeah.
She's very like
you're like, you know what time it is? She's like, oh god damn it.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you feel like being on the podcast? But
in Classic Wives, she was like, hell yeah.
No, not that.
She was
definitely not. I would love a hell yeah, but no, there was not that. Oh man. Yeah, shit. What was I gonna say before? There was something else I wanted to bring up, but I totally fucking forgot. Fuck. Anyway, your girl's coming through, right? With her
Yeah,
kids.
soon.
How often do you
No,
guys spend time together?
no, we get to spend time together pretty much every night. You know?
Nice. That's great.
Yeah, she get off work. She's gonna grab her son. Come here.
That's what's up.
Make
Now,
spaghettios. A couple minutes.
not like do you worry about like you know when you find yourself like on the road a lot playing a lot of gigs, do you worry about like how that could affect relationships?
I mean, a little bit, but I don't. I don't know. I'm a pretty loyal person. So, and
So
she,
you always make that time.
yeah, and I'm sure that if that happens, which who the fuck knows, it probably
Yeah.
happen. But if
Yeah, I'm not trying to
yeah, but
I
if
guess I was
if
making it
it's something
sound
like
like
that, yeah, if something like that did happen, I'm sure that we'd figure it out.
that's what's up. Yeah.
And bet your ass if I play like Red Rocks, like they're gonna, like I'll make her quit her job. She can just come back. But
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. What I want to ask you, I wanted to go back to the Green Hive Studios. How has that, how's that the experience? Because you've played with them a couple times now, right?
yeah, it's been a few. I opened for a band, Northvale. Um,
Oh, wait, that sounds familiar.
yeah, they're my buddy Mike plays guitar with them.
Oh,
Caesar's the singer and stuff. They're super cool dudes, and
okay.
they're super supportive too. They're a great band, especially if you like old school 2006
Yeah.
emo music like that. They nail it. But they
Oh,
were at the
yeah, I
last
do know
show.
these guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were at the art festival Green Hive threw on, and it was cool because they were all like standing front row, like not front. There was no rows, but they were standing like 5 feet away, and I got to stare at all of them in the eyes as I sang. Like they're a bunch of really solid dudes. I appreciate their support a lot.
That's
So
cool.
and Green Hive is amazing. Like those Chris and Jules are like two of the most they want art to be out there, and they've created a space that we could actually do that,
That's
like I was saying, even that night that I had 3 people for me show up, like there was street people that came in. We had a crowd singing on the opposite side of the street. Like they've created such a special spot for to be able to, you know, showcase art however it is. It's cool.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's been sweet. It's always been an amazing experience. So
Chris and Jules, you said?
yeah, yeah,
Are they a
Chris and
couple?
Jules. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
think they're married.
Oh, okay.
The
Shout
cutest
out to
couple ever. Yeah, shout out to
Jules
Chris and Jules.
Green Hive.
Ew.
No, it's yeah, if I was still in that area, I definitely would have been interested in showcasing over there, show some art.
Yeah,
That's cool. I like it when studios, when there's like small studios that open up and just try to promote art.
yeah, yeah,
Outsource.
and that's all they do. They're busy as hell. Like I unpacked my stuff, and like 3 artists came in at like 11 o'clock at night, and were like unloading their car with their stuff. Like they've created a really cool space for people to be able to just a spot to show it to other people, really,
Yeah,
which is cool.
that's
Uh,
what.
and it's such like an intimate room that they have, like
Mhm.
because it's just kind of one big room, the spot that they have, and it sounds so perfect. Like I love those shows just
Yeah,
because of,
yeah.
like, it's just like it's a total vibe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I went there the one time, and they had literally like 100 candles lit all over the place, and then I'm
Oh
like, I
gee.
have to play in front of this. Like catch my fire. But it was like they create like such special moments there. At least with my shit, that it's
Yeah. Well,
Sweet.
if we're talking about your music specifically, yeah, yeah, create a vibe, especially with your music.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It
You have
adds,
to.
it adds to the atmosphere for sure. Makes it
Yeah.
powerful experience
Definitely.
because you definitely have that certain tone, um, tonally in your voice and musically with your guitars, the notes you choose, the rhythms that you play.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, man, I would just like to also be a supporter. I would like to be present at one of these, future gigs, hopefully.
Yeah. I'll get a gig and
I'm not, no pressure, no
no,
pressure.
I got you. I'll take a weekend trip.
Because
I'll
I
hit the
just,
beach. I'll get a Saturday night somewhere, hopefully.
I got to see one of my recent guests on the podcast. I got to see him play live here. And it was just cool because, like, to be honest, I didn't really do my homework gearing up to the podcast. It really kind of just creeped up pretty quickly. And
Mhm.
I was like, I didn't even realize he had a band. Like, I thought he was just I think I just thought he was a music producer. Um, like I didn't know too much about his like actual music background. I just knew he just played music and produced it. But then I got to see him play live with one other member. But it was just such a cool vibe. Again, like
Yeah.
the atmosphere was just so cool. And
And it's different. It's a totally different experience,
yeah, for
Even
sure. I
listening to
miss it.
music, like,
Yeah, I
yeah.
miss it. I definitely don't get that enough.
Yeah, live music is like the best way to intake it, Anything else is just like you're trying to make it what it could be doing that.
Yeah. Oh, and I feel like I mentioned this bar a lot on the podcast, but there's this bar nearby called Mainline Brewery, and they always have live music playing there, and
Mhm.
it's not even that far. I like so.
Shout out to
I mean,
Mainline, you know.
by
Yeah,
that time
DM a
though,
fool.
I'm just beat though. Like like
I'll take 3 days off right now and come down and play at Mainline on a Wednesday. Like I'll be like,
no one's.
yeah, no, we'll do it. Yeah, it's like it's you and a bunch of old ladies, and I'll just piss them off. Like, see, I told you they should have killed Jim Morrison. Yeah.
Oh,
And I'll do my 1 minute comedy line.
Wait, yeah, no, that would be your opener. Maybe that should be your opener.
Yeah, it'll be like, what is hell for Jews in Germany? That'll be the way. Yep. See, this is.
I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear your minute.
Yeah, no, I totally stole that from fucking Shane McGillis said that on Kill Tony the other night. Actually, the episode just dropped today.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was so good. It was right after they were on Joe Rogan getting hammered all day.
Yeah,
was,
dude. When I saw that, I saw that the posts. I saw when Mark Norman just post Ari like in the cooler.
Yep, dude, he threw up all in the cooler.
And throughout that whole fucking podcast, I'm like, yo, when is like shit gonna go down? Is this was like before, he just posted. I'm like, yo, and you know what? I DM'd him. I'm like, yo, when is this going out? And I think he was like, oh, like tomorrow or some shit or today. And I'm just like waiting for it. I'm waiting for like the notification. And then just listening to it, I'm like, yo, when does this shit go down? It doesn't happen till like the very end. I'm like, God damn, trying to keep up with the drinking, man. That's never a good idea.
Dude, he was hammered.
So
good. It was so fun. It was hilarious. It was a really good episode.
That was fun. You know what? Actually, speaking of, because there's this thing that I did a couple of times on the podcast. And essentially, I'm kind of stealing this idea from Joe Rogan. but I started this thing, or I didn't, but me and two other artists, we had this thing that we were gonna try to start. It's called Bitch Fest, and I mean, with them, it's really when we would get together and we just bitch about stuff, whether it's about like just the struggles of the game and whatever, or just like bitch about anything else. But then I've been considering like expanding the roster and then maybe trying this like I guess it'd be kind of like a social experiment because then I would bring other artists together and we would just
all bitch about it. It would be like an AA meeting.
in a sense. Yeah,
we should do
like like we could, yeah, I mean jokingly bitching, but like we're just
yeah. No, I would. Yeah, we should definitely do that. I'd be down.
Would you? Because I brought it up.
100%.
I brought it up with a couple other people, and I'm like, I don't know, like it sounds fun, like it sounds like a fun idea to me, but I'm like, I don't know if I could get enough people to be down to do that every.
I'll be a part of the pitch. It'll be like the Fox News panel. We'll just
Well, like that's why I said this is kind of like stealing from Joe Rogan. It'd be like to protect our parks.
yeah, protect our parks. Just like yeah, exactly.
Me with other different types of artists. So, like it'd be like me, you, and like another artist of a different craft. That would be so interesting. And then we would just kind of find our common base ground and then, just complain about weird shit.
We'll just call it protect our projects.
Yeah. Protect our
totally
art.
steal
Protect our art. But we just call it, well, they called it Bitch Fest. And I'm like, that's actually pretty funny.
Bitch Fest would be perfect. I'm with it.
Word. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like it's been kind of difficult. Like I wanted to be able to do one once a month with these guys and eventually branch off, but like it's been like tough schedule, like finding a schedule to stick with. Like we've been having to keep canceling. So I'm like, maybe I'll like start experimenting with like other guests that I've had on the show. So at least like, at least they've been on a podcast before. And then I don't know, it'd be interesting seeing everyone like kind of actually meet each other.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Be interesting. Because sometimes like I'll
a bunch of people that don't know each other,
What's that?
Just a bunch of people that don't know each other.
I mean, yeah, well, I've noticed here and there when
just thinking about life.
No, but I would notice like an artist that I follow also now follows. I start discovering mutual artists, like whether before or after they've been on the podcast. So it's like kind of neat. So I don't know. I guess I just want to kind of extend that somehow and like actually just make it happen on the podcast. And I brought it up with Jenna Davis, whom, by the way, there's something about this girl because she brings in a lot of views on YouTube. So like, what's the deal with that?
Hashtag Jenna Davis.
I definitely brought that up with her last time. I'm like, yo, like mad views. Like, what was there something I don't know? Like, is there a secret? And then there's another artist that I had recently, Kali. Yeah, they said they were down, but I might just like try to do like me and then two other artists. It'd be like a trio. Yep. And then I don't know, we'll see what happens. I really like, like if you guys are down for it, that's great. I really don't know what to expect. Like, I guess I'll start a group chat and be like, hey, like here's a topic we could talk about. Other than that, like if there's something else, like if you have your own thing you want to bring to the table, that's cool. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll just be a shit show. So
it'll just be everything other than our artistic abilities. We'll talk about everything. It'll just be full politics for an hour, like me and your guest. I'll be the Trump supporter just to throw in the mix. You know what I mean?
I don't even know.
Joke, but I'm just saying.
I don't even know what role I would play. I feel like I'm such a neutral guy.
Dude, I don't think anyone knows what role they'll play.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. Yeah, so fuck it.
I think everyone right now is like, what the fuck is going on? Like, that's what every American is sitting home thinking. Like, dude, what the fuck is happening?
I don't know.
Hey, I gotta leave soon.
I was just
You want to play a song though before?
Yeah, we can bring it home with a song and then plug in whatever dates you got set for the future. This is gonna be out on the 25th. Just so,
Right.
So if you got something going on, yeah, you mentioned August. So yeah.
Yeah, I only have one gig right now, August 5th, but
Okay. Well, we'll just make sure everyone tuning in to keep their eyes open for more updates.
Yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, that's where I throw all the shit. So
that's right.
Yeah, it's the only place that you'll be able to figure out what shows I play. But if you follow me, I put all the details up and stuff. So
that's true. He does.
I really do. I splash it. I make sure you know.
He makes sure you know when and where he's playing.
Yes.
He also has a YouTube, so peep the channel, support the channel, check out his music.
Yes, like, subscribe.
Yeah, all that good jazz. Now, anything else we need to plug in there? All right. Well, before I bring you in with the song, because we'll end it with that. We will close it with your song. I just want to remind everyone else, well, not remind, but to thank everyone who has been tuning in. Thank you for joining us, especially any potential new listeners or viewers. If you enjoyed this content, again, please be sure to like and subscribe. Ring the notification bell, that way you can keep up with all the new uploads. And again, be sure to check out the show descriptions so you can follow the links leading to the active platforms such as Mike Hadley, and you can join their creative journey. Now that's it. So again, Mike Hadley, thank you, brother, for doing this podcast. He will be gracing us with another song of his.
Hey, and thanks for having me too, man. I appreciate this. This is always fun, you know.
Absolutely.
And as I sit watching the changing leaves, Bill Gates saying someone we need, and we walk around these hospitals just waiting to pay the bills. And as I look my parents in the eyes, they have more hope and desire. Like change is something they find on the street, and the hardest part is what worries me. Going down like missiles, going down like bombs. Sometimes you don't get to talk to your mom, and the world is a shit show, but we'll figure it out. And I've got hope for tomorrow, got hope for today. And sometimes you don't think you have what it takes, but I got friends down in Nashville, and they say a different thing. But Bill Gates, and I met a man who said he's losing his mind. It's been a while since I've had mine. In a world full of chaos that's created within, it seems the tides of the olden days means stick to the Wall Street ways. If my granddad's still around, he'd shake his head. Rather than human care, we get fentanyl instead.
going down like missiles, going down like bombs. Sometimes you don't get to talk to your mom, and the world is a shit show, but we'll figure it out. And I've got hope for tomorrow, got hope for today. Sometimes you don't think you have what it takes. And I got friends down in Nashville, and they say different things. But Bill Gates